What was it like for you to be the listener? How did that feel being the social worker?
Me being the listener, I was interested to hear what she had to say. I kind of was already trying to draw conclusions in my head or solve the problem in my head without wanting to consult with her. And I also kind of wanted to veer off a little bit, but I had to kind of control the situation and allow her to speak on why instead of trying to complete her sentences for her. So that's really hard for sometimes because like I was kind of what's the word? I was kind of
Predicting.
predicting what she was going to say. So I have to really be cognizant when I go into practicum and the actual social work world to not do that, to allow the speaker to, explain their stories and to listen. And that way you get a more of a feel of who the client really is and how you can best help them.
Right. I get that. I struggle with that too. What was it like to be the speaker or the client? How did that feel?
Um, that part was a little difficult trying to keep up with the questions, but I think as we do this more often and we get like years into the social work world, it'll come second nature. So um it's just the fact that we're in a classroom setting that I think kind of made it difficult because you kind of want to hit those key points what the professor is asking. So yeah.
As the speaker, as a client, based on this discussion, are you more or less likely to make the changes you discussed? And if so, why? Or if so, why not?
Yeah, I really like the course of action that my social worker proposed, because if I'm soliciting feedback from my friends, then I can truly hear how I've hurt them and I'm be more willing to change versus my way thing, and I'm trying to just stick to my true self and not trying to hear what they actually have to say just because I think that what I'm saying is true. It doesn't necessarily always have to be like that because that's what brings conflict and destroys relationships. So I really think that that was a really great approach. So yes, I would be more likely to change.
Sounds good. Okay.
All right. So what was it like for you to be the listener and how did it feel?
To me, it was definitely a confidence boost because, like said, my part, like you and I, my partner and I talked about prior, I don't have a whole lot of like experience in terms of like one-on-one interventions, and so I felt kind of really unsure about this uh intervention method. But once putting it into practice, I felt more comfortable with the idea of it in terms of hearing their problem and helping them to come up with their own solutions based on like what their own mind or past attempts or history gives them the idea to use. So I felt much more confident after doing the session than I did going into it.
Mm, okay. All right. What was it like to be the speaker and how did that feel?
It felt, I've gone to therapy for years, and so I'm used to talking out my problems, and but I never have. Oh, I've never had the experience. I don't think of MI being used on me. So it was actually really interesting as the speaker to have that method used on me, especially because during the conversation, one of the methods I, came up with in my own head, it was kind of like a light bulb, like the whole saying that I could, if the situation persists and the feelings persist, that things still aren't good, taking a step back, reevaluating, and make sure that I'm not projecting myself because I don't feel the issue is resolved to myself instead of putting it on them. That was kind of like a light bulb for me, and that the situations going on in my life as discussed, I kind of felt like an immediate sense of like, that might actually work. So it felt really good to be the speaker.
Okay. And as the speaker, based on this discussion, are you more or less likely to make the change you were considering, and why?
I think I'm definitely more likely to make the change, and at the very least, really, really try to make the change. Because like I said, it is affecting my professional and academic times or work. So I think that's a change that I definitely need to make. And now that it seems surmountable or doable, now I feel like it gives me even more reason to make the change.
All right. Well, good. We're done. I think that's it.